Let me hit you with a truth bomb. You're wasting your 20s if you don't hear this. Not because you're partying too much. It's not because you're not rich yet. It's not because you haven't figured it all out. You're wasting your 20s because you don't realize just how powerful they are. This decade is not just a fun period before life gets serious. It is serious. It's where your choices echo for decades. It's where you either build momentum or fall behind quietly. And if you're in your 20s right now, this might be the most important message you ever hear. Let's break down why this decade is so crucial and what you must do to make sure you don't waste it. You've probably heard this line before. You've got plenty of time. And yes, you do have time, but not to waste. The world has convinced an entire generation that your 20s are a throwaway decade. You don't need to worry about discipline, that experimenting is more important than building, that you can coast and figure it out later. But here's the harsh reality. Later comes faster than you think, and the habits, mindset, and direction you build now will either launch you forward or hold you back for years. Your 20s are not a warm-up. They're the foundation. Let's look at it from a different lens. Your 20s are when your brain finalizes its development, especially the prefrontal cortex, which controls decision-making and long-term planning. You have fewer responsibilities, less likely to have a mortgage, kids, or long-term debt. You have the most energy, flexibility, and time to invest in yourself. This is the perfect storm for growth. It's the best time to build high-income skills, learn how to lead yourself, take calculated risks, shape your identity. If you wait until you're 30 to start, you'll be starting behind. It doesn't mean you can succeed later, just means you'll wish you started sooner. Here's where most people screw it up. They prioritize comfort over challenge. Your 20s aren't T for finding the easiest path, they're E for doing the hard things that give you leverage later. They focus on looking successful instead of becoming valuable. Chasing clout trends or surface-level success means nothing if you don't build depth skills, resilience, character. They delay discipline. I'll get serious when I am older is the fastest way to stay average forever. Discipline in your 20s doesn't rob you of fun, it creates freedom later. You live in reaction, not intention. If you don't decide what your 20s are for, someone else will, your boss, your social media feed, your environment. Let's flip the script. If you want to maximize your 20s, not just survive them, here's what you should start focusing on. Master one core skill, stop trying to be good at everything. Pick one skill and get world-class at it. Writing, coding, design, sales, speaking, whatever gives you leverage in the real world. Why? Because one strong skill opens doors. You can build businesses, attract clients, land premium jobs all from one specialty, build a personal operating system. You need systems, routines, principles. When do you wake up? How do you plan your day? How do you handle failure, stress, focus? The earlier you build structure, the more freedom you'll have. Chaos feels cool until it ruins your potential. Get obsessed with learning. Read books. Take courses. Find mentors. Don't just consume entertainment, consume transformation. In your 20s, you're not building a career. You're building a brain. One that will either serve you or sabotage you for the rest of your life. Choose the right circle if your friends only talk about partying, gossip, or escaping life. If you need new friends, surround yourself with builders, dreamers, doers, people who talk about ideas, not just events, people who challenge you to grow. Your environment isn't neutral. It either lifts you or locks you in place. Let me tell you something powerful. Habits in your 20s compound massively. Here are a few that will set your entire life apart if you build them early. Wake up early, not because it's trendy, but because it gives you time before the world starts pulling on you. Write every day. Journaling your thoughts helps clarify your mind, your goals, your values. Train your body. It's not just to look good, but to feel strong, sharp, and confident. Manage your money. Learn to save, invest, and multiply, and just earn and spend. Practice silence. Learn how to sit with your thoughts. It's where clarity lives. The longer you wait to build these habits, the harder they are to install. Let's be real, your 20s are also full of traps. Here are a few to watch out for. Avoid mindless consumption. Social media can inspire or distract. Be a creator more than a consumer. Avoid debt disguised as status. Flex culture will keep you broke and anxious. Avoid numbing discomfort. If something feels off, don't bury it with alcohol, distractions, or denial. Face it. Learn from it. Avoid waiting for permission. You don't need approval to pursue your goals. Just need courage to start. The biggest risk in your 20s isn't failure, it's wasted time. Now hear this loud and clear. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need a perfect 5-year plan. You don't need to match someone else's timeline. But you do need direction. You do need intention. You do need to show up, especially when it's uncomfortable. Your 20s aren't about perfection. They're about positioning. It's positioning yourself to thrive in your 30s and beyond. Maybe you're 22 and feel overwhelmed. Maybe you're 28 and feel behind. Doesn't matter. Here's what you can do right now. Choose one area of your life to level up. Make one bold decision you've been avoiding. Drop one habit that's been stealing your time or energy. Start showing up 1% better each day. Small steps, big shifts. Your future self will thank you. Time in your 20s feels infinite, but it's not. The difference between people who thrive and people who stay stuck isn't intelligence, talent, or luck. It's how they use time. Every hour you invest in your 20s multiplies. Every hour you waste in your 20s decays. It's not about hustle culture, it's about alignment. You don't have to grind non-stop, you just have to care. Care enough to choose wisely. Care enough to not let this decade go to waste. If you're still watching, let me leave you with this. You're not behind, you're not too late, but you are responsible. Your 20s are the launch pad for the rest of your life. So don't treat them like a throwaway decade. Use them. Use them to become disciplined, focused, strong, kind, and self-aware. Use them to build, to explore, to get uncomfortable, to choose better. Use them to shape a life you're proud of before the world tries to shape it for you. Because one day, you'll look back at this decade and say one of two things. I'm so glad I started then, or I wish I had taken it seriously. You get to choose which one.